There is a lot of confusion about how and when to go and send Loom videos in your cold outreach to go and book you sales calls. So in this video, I'm going to walk through 4 different ways that you can go and use Loom video outreach to go and book you sales calls for your business. Let's get into it. These are the 4 best ways for you to go and book sales calls into your calendar using Loom video outreach. Now, you've probably heard of doing personalized Loom video outreach, which is a very manual process. Now, this is hands down probably the best way for you to go and book sales calls for your business. I get all my coaching clients to go and start with this initially to begin with, because it's the best way for you to get feedback and actually practice your skills of recording a really good asset and a Loom video to actually go and get people to respond. And if you master this, you can just print meetings. You just turn this on and off whenever you need. But the downside of this is it relies on you or your team, and it's a time-consuming process. You've got to send a 3 to 5 personalized Loom video looking at the prospect, looking at the business owner, and looking at the business itself, and make it super personalized to the fact that they know it's not done by AI, it's not done by some automation, it's you spending time out of your day recording this video and sending it to them and following it with them, make sure they see it. And this is why it gets such a high response rate and a high booking rate. So if you haven't started doing personalized Loom video outreach and you're trying to jump straight into automation, I actually highly recommend that you do manual Loom videos and then move on to actually trying to automate it once you've actually upped your skill level in doing this. Now, the second best thing to this is doing evergreen Loom videos. Now, what I mean by evergreen is this is pretty much anything that's not personalized. So you're basically going to record a 3, 5, 10 minute video, whatever your sort of prospect sort of resonates with. Usually it's 3 to 5 minutes, and it's going to be an evergreen video. So it's not going to be personalized to that individual that you're sending it to, like John, Sarah, or whatever. You're basically going to say hello and then just introduce yourself, and it's going to be pre-recorded. It's not going to be as personalized, and you're going to get a lot lower response rate compared to what if you were to do the same amount of volume with personalized outreach, from my experience anyway, because it's evergreen and they can tell that you've not really put too much effort in. So I wouldn't really recommend people doing this unless it was some kind of pre-recorded asset where you would have it ready if someone raises their hand and says, yes, send me more information, and then you have this evergreen video. But essentially what your personalized Loom video is going to look like is, you would send it to someone and you would have the GIF and you can see their website in the background or their LinkedIn page in the background, and you're in the corner. That is the best way for you to go and get meetings booked in. And obviously with an evergreen video, you're not going to be able to do this. So again, I would probably avoid this. But if you wanted to automate things, this is where the evergreen video kind of comes into play here. So automating this, I've used different platforms like Pitchlane, Sender, Replic. They all do the same thing. And essentially what they do is they allow you to send an evergreen video that looks personalized. So the evergreen video, you may have a very short video that's like 2 minutes long, explaining like who you are, what the opportunity is, or what problems that you solve. And then you've got their video in the background. So you've basically got like you're in the corner, and then their website is in the background. I can't remember if I said website or video, but it basically looks like something like this, where you've got like their website in the background. Now, this works really well, but people are sort of catching on to the fact that, you can very easily do this, and it's also done by automation, but it works really well. Now, what I have been testing as well is using landing page Loom. So this is just another sort of evolution from this one, which is the sort of evergreen automated Loom video, but it's a landing page Loom. And what I'll do is I'll just show you what that actually looks like. So essentially, I've tested different versions of this, but you've basically got the same sort of thing with the evergreen automated video, where you've got like the sort of website in the background here, and then you're in the corner. This GIF actually sort of moves like over here. So I'd be like here. And then you're basically talking through you and your offer and like why you're reaching out. But then you can also customize things like their for their first name, and then you've got like here again their first name, and then you've got their company name here, and then you've also got their company logo next to your logo here. And then you can add things like your Google reviews or your testimonials or any content or anything. I just get straight to the point and just go, you've got your video here, and then you've got, hey John, so you can see it's personalized, and then you've got call to action, book a call, and then you've got your Calendly link here. Super simple, because I don't want people to go to a personalized sort of landing page like this and then I direct them over to social media again, because what's the whole point? The whole point of a landing page is to basically convert someone, and in this circumstance I want them to literally book a call. I want them to watch this. and I want them to be warmed up before I have a call with them. So the whole goal of me doing this is to basically drive them here. So I don't want to send them off to YouTube and stuff like that. That is for like the pre-call sequence where you would like nurture people before they have a call with you. You know, you would send them emails, you could direct them over to your YouTube. But for this, in this circumstance with cold outreach, you want to be ruthless. You want to make sure you get them straight to actually booking a call. And that goes the same with any sort of outreach that you do, especially if you're going to be just doing the normal Loom outreach, which is automated. You would basically just have a call to action button here that has your URL, and it directs them straight over to your calendar page, and then they can go and book a call with you. So again, with any type of outreach that you do, you just want to make it crystal clear. Like I've done other videos on like how to structure a good Loom video, but you just want to make it crystal clear what you want them to do. Like, what is the call to action? Don't be saying 2 different call to actions. Don't be saying 3. What is the single thing that you need them to do? Do you want them to book a call? Cool, get them to book a call. Do you want them to react to the Loom video by putting an emoji or something like that, or do you want them to actually just go and respond to the email that you've sent? Then cool, tell them to go and do that, and then you take it further from there. It depends on what your sales process is. If your sales process is you need people to book a call, tell them to go and book a call. Or if this Loom video is a part of your sort of outreach where you're only sending a really short video just to get them curious, and then you're going to send them another video that's going to be, you know, a longer video, maybe it's 5-10 minutes long, explaining a bit more detail, then you would then tell them, hey, you know, the call to action would be, cool, just let me know if you want me to send you a further video which explains in more detail. So don't overcomplicate the sort of mechanism here, but I can tell you hands down, manual outreach and manual looms will get you the best results, and landing page looms have been the best sort of for me in terms of, you know, getting good results and warming people up compared to using this. Nevertheless, this strategy works well. So what I mean by that is just having the website in the background, but the landing page just takes it a little bit step further, customizes it a bit more. And with the distribution, you know, you really don't have to overcomplicate this. I always say just pick one channel that your ideal client's hanging out on. It's probably going to be email, and then you're probably going to have to just follow up on one of the other channels that your ideal client hangs out on, especially if you're going to be doing this at volume. So if you're targeting like tech founders, you might follow up on LinkedIn. If you're targeting, you know, people in finance and property and things like that, or like, you know, specialist services, you'll be using LinkedIn. If it's like home services, you might follow up on, you know, Facebook, if it's like roofers or whatever it may be. But don't overthink that, but you really do want to pick 2 different channels to actually go and reach out to them. But that sort of takes us away from, you know, speaking about when and how to do different Loom video outreaches. So like I said, who gets what? So what I would do is what I get people to do a lot of the time is, you've got your ideal customer profile, or you've got your sort of different segments of the market who you want to go and target. Now you've probably got your dream clients, and I call this your hit 100. Some people call it your dream 100, whatever it may be. I always get people to start by reaching out to all these people manually, doing personalized Loom videos, which is a 3 to 5 personalized minute video, showcasing the opportunity or a solution to a problem, plus a screen share. So these people, you want to spend a bit more time and effort and energy reaching out to them. You don't want to sort of burn any bridges with some shitty automation that you don't know how to use yet. And then it sort of burns your reputation. With these guys, be very controlled and reach out to them. Show them that you're putting in quite a lot of effort. And the beauty of this is you can really go into each individual company and do a mini audit and just have a look at their business and see how best you can present the opportunity that you've got for them, or you identify a problem and that they may have, and then you would showcase the solution. And the skill here is like, don't waffle on and do this in 20 minutes, because we all know we don't want to talk about our product or service, you know, as much as possible, show as much detail, but there is real power and there is real skill in being concise and not waffling on like I'm doing at the moment in this video, but you want to just nail it down into sort of 3 to 5 minutes. And that doesn't mean reading off a script. And if you do read off a script doing these types of videos, it's just going to turn people off, and they're going to be like, well, you know, if this guy's trying to read off a script, or this girl's trying to read off a script, and they're going to do work with me, you know, or I'm going to partner with them, there's no way I'm going to be able, like, if you can't hold a conversation on a 2-3 minute video, then, you know, this is useless. Like, I'm not going to work with them. So you need to be able to speak as confidently, with as pure conviction as possible, and be as concise as possible, making this sort of 3 to 5 minutes. If you can get this down to sort of 2 minutes, then that's perfect. If you can get to the opportunity or the solution to the problem that you have to solve as quickly as possible, and you might do a bit of a screen share. I always get a lot of people to do a screen share because you can follow a specific framework, then that is going to help you get the best results. And everyone asks me, like, where do I send this Loom video? And like I was saying before, send it on all channels that they're active on. Make sure they see it. If you've spent your time and energy to record a video and you think it's good enough for them to go and see, and you really think that you've got a good opportunity or you can help them with a problem or solution, then send it and follow up on all channels necessary. So for example, you wouldn't just send one LinkedIn message with you wouldn't just do number one here and then leave it like that. You're against people who are going to be sending number one here all the way through to 3, 4, 5, and then they're going to follow up on email and help, they might even follow up on Facebook and Instagram. But at least if you're covering these two bases, you're going to have a higher chance of them actually seeing it. So again, I wouldn't overthink that, especially if you're doing it personalized. The way I see it is, just because they haven't seen that video that you've sent to them that's personalized, look, they may be busy. People have got their own shit going on in their own life, and if they haven't seen it, it doesn't mean that they're ignoring you. It just means that you haven't done your job in terms of following up. So you're probably thinking as well, like, with this manual approach, what do I actually share on the screen share? Now, this is just like one example that I get people to go through. So you're going to just basically explain the opportunity or the problem that you solve. You're going to explain maybe some client case studies or client results or client testimonials. And if you've got no social proof, you're going to reference like what a competitor is doing in the space who is winning, and you can help them achieve similar results. And if you go onto my other video where it explains like how to actually structure the Loom video, this will sort of kind of make sense. But you can go through and basically explain like what are the mistakes that people tend to make before they start working with you, and then explain like mistake 1, 2, 3, and then why this happens, and then explain the outcome, and then explain the overall outcome. So for example, like if I'm an email marketing agency and I'm trying to reach out to e-commerce brand owners, a lot of the time e-commerce brand owners may be making certain mistakes, like they don't have a abandoned cart email workflow, or they don't have a post-purchase order bump workflow, or they don't have all these things like email deliverability or whatever. But you actually and this is what happens, like overall this is going to impact the average order value. They're going to have lower revenue, the conversion rate is going to be a lot lower, and the solutions are solution 1, solution 2, solution 3. Explain why these solutions happen, and then explain the outcomes of these solutions, and then the overall outcome. And then you might have somewhat of a roadmap and just make it crystal clear. Look, if we were to engage, or this is the next step, and you would go phase 1, and we do X, Y, Z, and then we do phase 2 here, and then phase 3 is here, and then you would have your very simple, concise call to action, which is going to be, please respond to this email and I will send you a further video, or please let me know what time would be suitable for you, Tuesday or Thursday next week, or click that link here on the button on the top right hand corner, and then you can go and book a call with me or book a call with one of my team members. Like whatever the call to action is, just be super simple and crystal clear in terms of what you will do, and explain like what actually happens with that call to action. So if you do book this call, we're going to be speaking about X, Y, and Z, and hopefully by the end of it, we'll know X, Y, and Z. No pressure. If not, you don't have to book the call, but if that is you, I'd love to see you there, that kind of thing. So you would just make it crystal clear in terms of what the call to action is going to be. So that's the personalized Loom video outreach. Now we're going to go on to automated. This would be pretty much everyone else who's not in your sort of Dream 100. Now you might have more than 100 people in your Dream 100 list, and it depends on like the size of your team. If you're just a small business owner and you've got like you're just trying to generate more leads, you could probably just stick to doing your hit 100. But if you're a bit of a larger team, you've got a bit more budget, you would still do your hit 100, and you would continue to do that every month because you've always got your hot prospecting, your dream clients. But then you would also do like automated outreach using tools like Sender, Replic. You would use tools like PitchLane. Sender, by the way, is the one that I use for landing pages. I'm not affiliated with them by any means. I've just tested using those. And then personalized Loom videos. Again, I use Sender for it, but I've used Replic with a Q at the end quite a lot of the time. Again, not affiliated with these guys, but I've just used those because it's quite similar, quite simple to use. But you've got PitchLane and other tools like that. Again, don't get caught up in the tool. But essentially, everyone else within your sort of TAM, your total addressable market, that's where you're going to use automation tools to actually go and speed this up. If you don't have a team, an army of people doing sort of personalized Loom videos. Again, there is a bit of a difference with doing these types of videos. So again, I wouldn't do the evergreen video, Loom video outreach strategy. I would either use the automation tool or don't. This is why I've not explained that one in there. But the reason why this is a little bit different is you're going to be basically explaining in a very shorter video compared to this personalized video outreach, because it needs to be more curiosity led. So you're basically going to do a lot shorter of a video, and you're basically still going to explain the opportunity or the solution to their problem, but it's going to be more curiosity led. And again, I've done other videos on this, but you're basically going to say, look, I'm not sure if this is the right thing for you, but I think we can help you with X, Y, and Z, or I've noticed that X, Y, and Z. Obviously, this isn't going to be personalized. You've not done any research, so you want to keep this as short as possible to just get them curious to actually go and say, raise their hand and be like, hey, yes, I'm actually going to go and respond to this. So the real thing you need to do here is just think of this as more of an introduction and just to show that you're a real human. So the goal is just to show that you're a real human and just to get a response. So I know some people who do these where it's like a 30-40 second video just to say like, hey, my name is Ben, I just thought I'd actually send you this so you know that I'm a real human, and maybe just add a bit of humor to it, and then just say, look, I think I can help you with X, Y, and Z opportunity. Do let me know if you want to explore this further. I'd love to have a quick chat. Or again, going back to the call to action, you would say, do let me know and I'll send you another video just explaining what I mean about that. You got to think about the call to action and like how you're going to position it and how you're going to make people curious to go and actually respond and then potentially go and work with you. And you're probably thinking as well, like, what do I do with, let's say we're using cold email to go and reach out to people using this automated approach where it would look something like this in your outreach. So you've got like the video here, blah, blah, blah. Again, I wouldn't confuse things, and people get caught up with saying like, what's the deliverability going to be like if I send a Loom video in the first email, blah, 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 blah. And at this point in 2026, what I would suggest is doing a plain text email for email 1, and then you follow up and send the sort of Loom style video in email 2, because you're going to have the links in there. But nevertheless, I see people who do Loom video styles, video outreach with it in the first email, and it really doesn't matter. So yeah, I mean, if you want to play it safe, do the plain text first and then send the video in the other follow-up email, and then follow up on other channels like LinkedIn, for example. Now, there's a lot to digest there, but if you do want some further support by me consulting with you in terms of how to do your lead generation for your own business to book as many qualified sales calls as humanly possible, then click the link in the description and you'll be able to find out how I might be able to help you. And if not, I will see you on the next one. Peace.